Imagine sitting at a dining room table, surrounded by loved ones, yet every head bowed, glory to God, not in prayer, but in the glow of a screen. You scroll, you click, you laugh at a meme. But when you look up, the moment is gone. What if I told you you were all living like this was more than we realized? Welcome. Just look up. This podcast that's here to remind you to stop existing and start truly living. This is the Organic Truth Podcast. Let's go. Real quick, blessings to the people. And I just truly want to dive into this very compelling nature of the world around us. How technology traps us in the metaverse. And what happens when we choose to unplug and reconnect with reality. See, for most of us, it's difficult. It is extremely difficult. And I think sometimes we don't really look at things like that. And when we don't really dive into it, because everything is about go, 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 go. Man, how can we make some money off of this internet? How can I become famous? Or I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a social media analyst. I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to be this. When it comes to social media, everybody think they can do it. So we put all our time, and not to mention that is a conscious decision, putting your time into it. But the unconscious decision is the time that we scroll, swipe on the phone, watch time. It's crazy. I need people to start really realizing and understanding the nature of the trap. The nature of the trap. Ask yourself, what is the metaverse in practical terms? And I hate to get all formal on people, because my podcast is just revealing the truth and speaking the truth and revealing. I'm talking about everything. But ask yourself, what is the metaverse in practical terms? Okay. All right. I give up. I'm going to give it to you. The integration of social media, virtual spaces, and context, connectivity into daily life. Daily life. Daily life. It's crazy because we are the movement. We are what this whole system has been created to be. Think about it. Just like computers. A computer is nothing but a human brain. But that's another podcast. Just think about that, though. Look it up for yourself. But we are truly what the metaverse has become. It is just a version of ourselves, just not real. It's a version of our reality, but just not real reality. A place where you can live and conduct yourself without having to deal with the capability and responsibilities of what it is truly to be in this real world, right? So it's like technology exploits our psychological wiring. It truly exploits our psychological wiring. I mean, from dopamine to loops of fear of missing out on things, creating that anxiety. Like you truly could be in a place to where you feel like you're going to miss out on something when it comes to being with the social media. Truly. Like if you if you're a type of person who constantly want to be on it, you could truly get yourself to a place to where it's like you feel like if you miss an hour, things are changing. And yeah, don't get me wrong, it's moving so fast. It moves fast. The trends change within minutes. But that don't mean that you need to be a part of this. You gotta wake up and you gotta look up. The illusion, it is the illusion of connection versus the reality of isolation. Play with that for a second. The illusion of connection. Listen, my podcast is usually 30 minutes, but I've been working on this thing, this lookup podcast, for a minute. And I've been dreading doing this thing because I don't want to sound like everybody else, but I'm not today. You hear me, you know what's going on, you understand. But the illusion of connection versus the reality of isolation. Play with that for a second. Play with it though. There's no real connection. It's crazy because we even have dating apps through social media. Now, mind you, some people do find love. And I would say those are the people who are now hopeless romantic. They come into the whole idea of doing it this way with a plan. And when I say a plan, not necessarily a plan to make it work, but a plan of understanding that, hey, this is this. I understand what this is capable of doing, but I have to do the work if I'm going to find a real match. So there's a way to use the platforms and social media to your benefit. But if you're using it just to be trying to get some ass, then my man, you need the pass. Because it could do that, but it's going to strip. First of all, I just want to say this emotionally. When you're dealing with women, and you're dealing with certain type of situations, when it comes to women, you can sleep with as many women as you want. Women, you can sleep with as many men as you want. But every time you do that, you're taking on a piece of that person's spiritual energy. When a woman allows a man to enter her, they're taking on that spiritual energy of that man. He might have been angry. He might have just been going through some depression. And that's why when y'all, vice versa, when y'all exchange that energy, if it's not right, you could feel it. So you might leave with depression. You might leave with suicidal thoughts. You might leave with all type of things that you never came to the party with. So be careful. Be careful. And that's outside of what I'm talking about, but going back to the illusion of connection when it comes to technology, there is no connection. The connection is everybody has a say on what they think you are and what they think they could say about you. And mind you, the connection is lost because you got people saying these things about you who is probably sitting up in a closet, everything going bad for them or everything going right for them. They just not happy about themselves. There's no connection. And they in the reality of isolation. But understanding that when you start to feed into the illusion, you start to react to isolation. Isolating yourself. Want to be shy. You ain't a shy person. You shy. You this. You got a quick anxiety. And it don't make it no worse with COVID. So coming out of COVID, I'm not even look, listen. It's a bad thing, man. I mean, it's so much. It's so many side effects. Dopamine loops. Look this stuff up for yourself. I mean, because a behavioral scientist explains how likes, or it was, and I'm going to give y'all the actual source. If I could remember verbatim, but don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on this. The behavioral scientist explained how likes, notifications, and endless scrolling simulate reward pathways, creating addictive behaviors. Mind you, I'm talking about this, family, only because I understand I am a victim of that. Scrolling, constantly scrolling. When there ain't nothing to do or there's idle time for me, whether I'm at work or I'm somewhere in a space to where there's idle time, you know the first thing I do? Get on my phone and I look for that game. I get on my phone and I start scrolling on social media. And the worst one is I be on Facebook because I'm older and a lot of young folks don't fool with Facebook. But when I get on TikTok, I look up and I have been on them things for hours. So I've been a victim and I understand and I know. Man, it ain't, I'm telling you, you got to pay more attention. Because social media use it, is linked to created feelings of loneliness and anxiety in heavy users. I was a heavy user. I'm not saying that I am. I'm still working on it though. But I'm telling you how this, we all know, and it's sometimes it takes for you to hear from another person. It takes from you to hear from another person. Because if you don't hear from another person, you'll continuously do the stuff. Break away. Break away. Break away. Because despite its promise of connecting the world, it is something that can drive us to loneliness, anxiety, that can destroy us emotionally. Despite the promise of it connecting us around the world. Mind you, listen, I use the internet for everything. And it does connect us. It's such a gift and it's a curse. More so a curse than a gift. It's dangerous, man. Technology is dangerous. I'm telling you, the distorted reality that it gives us. Oh my God. How digital spaces wrap our sense of time. I'm not even going to say wrap. I'm going to say warp our sense of time. Warp our sense of time. Losing hours scrolling or gaming without realizing it. I love video games. Listen, let me tell you something. I tell my wife all the time. I said that time when I had the Xbox 360, everybody know if you had the Xbox 360, you had the 3 rings of death, the white one. When I was in that era and I was constantly always downstairs playing the game when I got off of work, you know, and my wife used to be on my bones about playing the game. If she would have just let me be, I'd have been a crazy streamer right now. Crazy. Because streaming wasn't a big thing back then, but it was starting to come into fruition with Twitch, because that's when GTA, the GTA now, I can't think of it. Is it Grand Theft Auto 5? Grand Theft Auto 5, or was it 4? One of the two. Might have been Grand Theft Auto 5. Had dropped. Call of Duty was going heavy, but I was playing both, but I ended up gravitating to the GTA. See, for the simple fact that and because I was my gaming style is I'm a loner of games, meaning that I like to play first person single games. Online it becomes like a multiple thing. I like games like that. So playing the card and then playing with other people, it was just like I wasn't that good. But I come from the 80s, so I'm a gamer. So I like the gaming. So that's neither here nor there. it's about not overindulging, right? Because losing hours scrolling or gaming without realizing it, that's crazy. That's crazy because it happens. And I understand that there's people out there who have been doing that for a long time, and now either it destroyed them or coming into this gaming era it's made them better and they well off, because I understand that, because I just think about the time when I stopped. But never mind, neither here nor there. But it's becoming a concern. The rise of curated lives, comparing your reality to everyone else's highlighted reel. Highlight reel. When you compare your life to somebody else's highlight on how they're viewing and they're succeeding, it's very difficult because everybody on social media is doing great. Nobody doing bad. Now, when people start doing bad and they start seeing how they getting reactions to, like, you just never know what's right, man. It's so delusional. You do not know what's right. It's so delusional. You don't know what's right on social media. You got one person on here who now he homeless. He's sleeping on the bench, but he going live. How the heck do you have a iPhone? They giving out iPhones in the government now? I can't take it, man. But it's things like that that make you wonder. For me, it makes me wonder. I don't know about y'all, but it made me wonder. Because it's like, what? How the heck am I here and I got something, but I'm trying my hardest to hold on to it? And yet you got this person who don't got nothing, living their best life. That's when people start comparing themselves, comparing your reality to everyone else's reality, which is their highlight reel. Don't compare yourself. Social media will have you doing it. Best believe that. Because mm, excuse me, technology's role in numbering us to the present moment. That's their role. They want to number us. But it's so bittersweet because it's like, how do we get rid of something that has been so beneficial in so many ways for us as human beings? It's like, excuse me, y'all. How do we get this up? Because I don't want to give it up. I don't. Because it makes things so much more simpler. It makes things simplistic, and it, depending on how you make it work for you, it makes it smooth. But distractions, man, it gives everything, man. Like, I even seen kids it give kids distractions during meals, just being out there outside enjoying nature and doing all different type of walks, and just with conversation. Some people don't even be able to conversate because they so used to being in that metaverse. They don't know how to be outside of the metaverse. Like, on the internet, man, I just see so much stuff, man, with them new goggles they put on their face. I seen a guy, excuse me, with the goggles on his face, where how he lives in there. And he takes baths, he takes showers, and it's crazy because he has another camera on the outside of the metaverse that shows what he's doing while he has the goggles on in the metaverse. He's in this little bathing area in his room, and he's bathing himself. He's drying himself off. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Because I came across this article, and it said in 2023, a study by Pure Research, and that's PEW, because I want y'all to go research for yourself. I want y'all to see that. PEW research found the average adult spends over 7 hours daily on screens, reducing time spent in real world interactions by nearly 40%. Now, I'm not all about the numbers and data, but by 40%, that's almost 50%, y'all. So almost close to 50% of the time, we not even in reality. We not even in the real world. We BSing. It's crazy. Man, neuroscience describes the state of flow while using tech as a similar to hypnosis, pulling users away from self-awareness. That was also in the article. It's scary. It's a scary thing, but I want y'all to understand, man, the cost of existing versus living. The cost of existing versus living. How existing feels. How does that feel for you? Because for me, and I'm pretty sure those who want to be able to feel the existence, because first of all, is when you're caught up into the metaverse and the world and the unreality and doing all that stuff, being on your phone constantly, every waking moment, even when you at home with your family, you sitting and you on the phone and you ain't listening. You existing. You ain't living. So how does existing feel? How does it feel? This is how existing feels. Passive consumption, autopilot routines, and empty busyness. That's how it feels. And I want y'all to stick with that last one, empty businesses. Busyness, I'm sorry. Because that's how I feel a lot of times. And it's crazy because it's like I don't cut the TV on. Like even if I'm off on an off day and all the kids and everybody is out of the house and it's just me. And then like there used to be moments where it was like, I don't know what to do with my time. You see what I'm saying? So now when you think like that, all type of things that is not healthy for you creep in. What are you doing? You see what I'm saying? All type of things that ain't healthy for you start to creep in. And you got to make sure that you don't allow it to, because it'll creep in all type of things when these kids is at school. So you have to be the best version of yourself. You have to be what they call accountable. Doing the right thing when ain't nobody looking. And it's difficult. It's difficult because even as an adult, it's like you looking at yourself like, man, I could do whatever the heck I want to do. I gotta work. I do this. I do that. I'm not robbing nobody. Blah, blah, blah. No, but what you're doing is you're putting spiritual energy out there in the universe that is going to heckle and destroy certain parts and movements when your kids establish themselves. Not to mention you being able to hit the next level in your life while moving. But we all fall short. And like I said earlier, nobody's perfect. So we're not going to condemn anybody. We're not going to condemn anybody, right? Because what does it mean to be living? What does it mean? There's practical terms. Living is engaging all senses, forming deep relationships, and creating memories. When you're not looking up and you constantly looking down, think about that though when I say this. Because when you on your phone, you like this. You ain't like this. You could put your phone up here and be looking like this, but you're still not looking up. Create those memories. Be in the present. Because I've read real life stories of regret from individuals who woke up too late. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. And I've been running promo, doing all type of crazy stuff. Like I read, for instance, a tech executive who left Silicon Valley to reconnect with their family. I also read a viral story of a person who spent more time curating Instagram content than experiencing the vacations they posted about. Like, don't think this social media stuff is sweet. It looks sweet, but when you taste it, sometimes it's a bit sour. I'ma be there, and I'm telling y'all what it is. And I don't even know if y'all really gonna truly get it. But I'm praying that y'all do. Because I believe in you guys. I believe in myself. I believe in the information. Because I believe in this podcast. This is my space. Organic Truth Podcast. And if you're not giving the truth, who giving the truth? Going back to some of the experiences with people. An interview with an ex-tech insider revealed guilt over designing products meant to capture users' attention. I'm going to say this again. An ex-tech insider revealed guilt over designing products meant to capture users' attention. So this you doing what you doing isn't on your own. You programmed. This is what they were trying to do with the television. This is why they say program. Watch your program. But it didn't work with the television because Big Mama or your grandmother or whoever was sending y'all outside to play back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. She was sending y'all outside to go play because she didn't want y'all in the house while she was cleaning and making dinner. But y'all was supposed to be sitting in front of that before it was the radio. And then when they got the picture, y'all was supposed to be sitting in front of the program of the picture because they felt like they'd get your attention better if they had a visual. This is, man, look, all right, look, this was said back in the source, The Social Dilemma. Look it up for yourself in 2020 when that ex-tech insider revealed guilt over designing products meant to capture your attention. Trust me, it's crazy. And every time you are on your phone subconsciously and you're doing it when there's space for you to be doing something else, and you get on your phone, you might be playing a game or click on that social media app. No, get off of it because there's so much more to be done. It's like you might ask, how to look up? What to look up? It's simple for me. Just schedule intentional unplugging moments. Tech-free Sundays. Start a gratitude practice. Write 3 real-world things you notice each day. Like me, sometimes I make it my business to speak to 10 people a day. And it's crazy. Sometimes that's a challenge because some people don't speak to you. And what makes it worse is the young folks. I might make it 15, 10 adults, 5 teenagers, because they really don't speak to you because they always had they already had their ear plugged with the electronic device. So it's up to you, you know, use technology with purpose instead of passivity. Use it with purpose instead of passivity. It's crazy. Set a timer for the social media. Spend more time in nature or with loved ones. No phones allowed. Man, there's so many things that could be done. You know, reflect. Imagine looking back at your life. What would you want to see? What would you want to see? And here's a good one that I use that I love because I take my 7-year-old son out with me. Is I love to be in nature. Nature therapy studies show that just 20 minutes outdoor can significantly lower stress hormones. I love being outside. I go out there, I breathe. And mind you, I'm in Cali, so it's like I see the ocean. Oh, I'm really taking it in. I'm breathing. I don't never run out because of that air that comes off of the ocean. It's so rich. It's so empowering. It's so fulfilling. It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, most people that I've encountered here on the West Coast is who the people who live the closest to the water are the most happiest. And that's just for me. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just for me. It's just so many other things, man. Digital detox retreats are gaining popularity worldwide. Now, I know it's some here. I don't know about any other states, but like a digital detox could be. It don't even have to be something like a big retreat. It could be you setting up something with your people. Like, hey, listen, man, y'all come over here. We gonna get rid of our phones. Oh, we gonna meditate for about an hour, 2 hours. We just gonna mingle with each other after that and have some food and da 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 da. Whatever. That's a retreat. That's a detox. That's a detox. It really is. It's a detox, man. The world we live in is breathtaking. And it's waiting for not just for me, but for you to look up. Stop letting technology. And I'm speaking this not only to you, but for myself. Let technology dictate your life. Instead, let's reclaim your time, your relationships, and your purpose because it's for your presence. When you look back, it won't be the hours that you spent online that will matter. It'll be the moments you lived. Now, I challenge you, and I'm going to challenge myself. I challenge you this week. I don't care if you heard this podcast 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Don't worry about when it started. But when you hear this podcast, I challenge you this week. Put your phone down for just 1 hour a day. Notice what's around you. Let us know what you discover by tagging us on social media with hashtag look up Organic Truth Podcast. Hashtag look up, hashtag Organic Truth Podcast. Ironically, right after you look up, I want to know, man. We want to know and just be in that space, that presence, and that love. I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight or any other night on this topic of look up. Just look up. Don't look down around. Just look up. Until next time, don't just exist. Live. And you already know what your boy Living say. Allow your plan B to enforce plan A. And I say that to say this. Without a voice, there's no truth. Without truth, there's no voice. Organic Truth Podcast. Blessings to the people.